All right, folks, we are back this week with a brand new episode of the Walk-Ons. It's episode number 53. The Crystal Ball is tonight's episode title. Glad you're here with us. Let's go ahead and get started.
You think it's the Breakfast Club?
Basically.
The Dinner Club?
Pretty much.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Show number 53, The Crystal Ball. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight on our podcast and on our Facebook and YouTube and all that good stuff. On the table today, we got Gary.
AKA the Harvard guy, and I will eat crow. Marcus did win the bracket challenge.
I did, fair and square. Somebody didn't believe me. Brandon.
What's up? How y'all doing tonight?
We got Opie.
Villanova.
We got Megs.
Hello, everyone.
And last but not least, we got Carolina. No, not Carolina. Chris.
Carolina, California. Hey, I read both coasts. Carolina, California, whatever you want to call it. What's cracking, y'all?
Awesome. Everybody, thank y'all for tuning in once again. First off, make sure you follow us on our social media, on Facebook and on Twitter at the Walk-Ons Radio. So make sure y'all follow that. And also visit our website at www.freethinkersradio.com and find all of our shows on our network. So you can find us there. And then also, if you got any comments throughout the night and questions, such forth, make sure you send those in throughout the night as we talk about different types of topics tonight. As for the NBA, their playoffs is around the corner. Who's the contenders? Who are the sleepers? So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk to the Fireflies broadcast guy, Kevin Fitzgerald and Mr. Sam. They are the radio broadcasters for the Columbia Fireflies. Their season opener is this Thursday coming up, April the 5th, so make sure you check them out. And then also, women in sports is the popularity for women in sports gone up higher than in the past. So we'll talk about that. Then also, we want to show the Clemson chat and the food tripping. And also, at the end of the night, we'll talk to Coach Fry. We're keeping it real, so make sure you stay tuned for all of those. Let's get started with the pick six. First off, we'll talk about the 2018 men's champion, Villanova. Once again, they are the NCAA champs for the year. And thank you for them, because I won $280 and 0 cents in my staff bracket this year.
So dinner on you tonight is what you're saying?
Huh?
Dinner on you tonight is what you're saying?
No, not that. It's going straight to my savings. I need some of my savings.
Okay. I mean, at least you do. At least you're being smart with it.
Well, you should at least split it with Opie.
Nah, I'm
I
good.
thought that Opie gave you the answer.
He did not. He did not. Opie copied me. Ain't that right, Opie?
He said no comment.
Villanova won. That's all I know.
They did win. And I picked them because of the matchups.
Yeah, it wasn't even close, and I think most people saw that was going to happen. I mean, Villanova just has too many weapons.
After the first few minutes, is okay. Yeah, this game's over.
Yeah.
They dominated all the way through.
I mean, it was tight at the beginning, but, they started showing their muscle. All the dunks and open threes,
And that
Villanova
one
made it
kid,
happen.
the one kid with the 31 points, Jesus, he was killing everything. He's catching some heat right now, but he
Yeah.
was killing it last night.
A white kid named Dante. Never seen it before.
But hey,
He's Italian.
Maybe that's why he said. Maybe that's why you use the N word. Hey,
if you're going to put the stuff out there, you better be prepared to catch some
It's
heat
coming.
with it. It's
Yeah.
coming. They'll find anything that you've done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. But congratulations to Nova for winning their second championship in the last 3 years. Does this put Villanova up there with the, echelon of top teams with Duke and Kentucky in there?
Well, with Villanova winning 2 championships in 3 years, do you guys see Jay Wright maybe going to the NBA sometime soon? Or what do you think about that?
I don't know. It's half and half for me.
if he gets an offer, he better take it.
Nah,
you're not
going.
Ask what's his face, the guy that didn't take it the other year and just got fired.
Villanova different. I think
Was it
people.
Kevin Ollie?
I
The
think
one that got the
I think it
Lakers
was
job,
Ollie, yeah.
and then
It was
didn't-
Ollie.
He was
fired.
offered by the 76ers, I think, a
Mhm.
couple years ago. He declined it.
5 years ago.
But 5 years ago, he declined it. So, I mean,
He should have took it, though.
No, he good. Well, yeah, it's other stuff that happened in his personal life that is probably why he'll stay where he at. Family situation. Jay Wright's been one of the brightest coaches out of the Big East that everybody now is hearing about. He's always had a winning tradition. I think it's like 81, something ridiculous, 81 to 70, high 70 winning percentage.
Yeah.
When he came into the Big East, he always had good players. First coach I actually can remember playing and seeing a four out, one in. So shout out to him. He's a great coach. He's a good inspirational coach, great leader, always cool, always collected on the sidelines. You never see him jumping or shouting, and And I think that is one of the reasons why those guys are and have won and done some of the things they have done, because they get to look to a leader like him, and it's just that's great. Shout out to him.
Yeah, that just goes. They had the Player of the Year in Brunson, and he didn't even have a good game last night, and they still dominated.
It's definitely weird to see Villanova win, 2 championships in 3 years, when they were always that program that you would expect to see lose in the round of 32, round of 64, and, to see them be where they are now, it's a little surprising, honestly, but happy for them.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I mean, he has the makings to be an NBA coach. I'd say
when they had Kyle Lowry, they went on a run. I mean, they just fell short. But you starting to see, me and my guys were talking about, you starting to see college basketball reshape. He's always been in those top. I mean, you got to think Big East always been having when they were the Big East. They're all ACC now. You usually have 9 to 10 teams in the tournament, always. And now those teams are ACC teams. You got the traditional North Carolina Duke, but when you look at the rest of them, Syracuse, Villanova. I mean, it goes to show you what happened. Even Virginia Tech was in. They ACC used to be Big East, so it just shows you what the effect, what's going to happen, how are they going to address this. Emmett has a lot the president of NCAA has a lot on his plate for the summer, going into what's going to happen with, are you going to play players? Because now you're seeing a lot of one and dones, a lot of people going overseas. Right now, you're starting to see the effects where traditionally you have Kentucky there, you have UCLA, Arizona. I mean, Virginia was the number 1 seed and got knocked off in the first round, quickly. So anything
that was predicted.
Yeah, so anything is possible. But they didn't play anybody. Me and Felicia Cocky was talking about this. They didn't play anybody. Villanova was the most battle-tested team the whole tournament. I mean, granted, Michigan did outstanding. They won every game what they were supposed to do to get there. But I mean, they played a bunch of 7 and 8 and 11 seeds, and
they probably had the easiest route to the
route. But they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And you're talking about.
Well, you can't determine that. I mean, if someone took out the number 1 seeds for them or the higher seeds, you just have to play who's there to be played.
Play your game, survive in advance.
That's what you do.
Hold on, let me be clear, because that got taken the wrong way. They did what they were supposed to do, but out of the teams that were constant the whole season, Villanova got tested the most in that tournament. And you got to play against a team that's been tested the whole season, that's been continuously good. You had to play excellent, and that was too much for Michigan. That was just a mountain they couldn't climb. It started off good, but you can see at the end it just started wearing off.
Yeah. But another team that is rejoicing for their championship win is Notre Dame in the NCAA Women's Championship bracket. That Final Four was actually more interesting than the men's Final Four. I would say.
Big facts.
You have Mississippi State, you had Notre Dame, you had Connecticut, and then who was the other team in there?
You don't know the other team?
I forgot the
say
other
it
team
again. Say all 4.
Let me say it again. Mississippi State, Notre Dame, UConn, and who's that 4th team? I have a brain fart right now. Brain fart. Somebody knows.
Don't matter. They lost.
It's
that simple.
Louisville.
There we go. Hey, I was saying like you really didn't know.
I forgot the 14.
I forgot too.
But
I mean, you see in the women's game, all number 1 seeds made it to the Final Four.
Yeah.
So until we can get some of these other teams making it in there, I don't know if people are going to get the interest in women's basketball. Sorry, Megan. but you want to see some upsets. You don't want to see all number 1 seeds make it every year.
Tennessee went down this year. They lost to Oklahoma State, and then South Carolina easily went down to was it Buffalo?
A&T.
Yeah.
Was it A&T or Buffalo?
A&T wasn't struggle too. That was in the first round. So they did get their act together in the first round. They could have easily been gone. They was number 2 seed. So easily some of these girls teams could have easily been out. But it's not really interesting until you get to the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 anyway, because of the level of athleticism you got in these smaller schools for women's basketball teams in the women's bracket. It's not as big as you will see in a UMBC in the men's bracket or Loyola Chicago or other stuff. So,
I mean, again, you play who you have to play just based on the seeding, but who wants to see blowouts of 25, 30-point games?
Well, UConn's
See, the problem with women's basketball, like the top teams are just so much better than everybody else.
Right.
There's no like no middle ground, I guess you could say. You know what I'm saying? Like it is in men's basketball, where it's like it's kind of like an even playing field. You know what I'm saying? So
all I know is old girl is mad clutch from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They hit those buzzer beaters.
Maybe
She
I'm,
is.
I'm hating, but that girl should have trapped her instead of trying to fight through and set a screen on her teammate. And
That was a lucky shot, though.
no.
is she going to
she
the
made it.
Twice?
I
Twice?
I just
No,
want to
no,
know
the second
if,
one was a lucky shot.
Is
Is she
the
going
coach
to
gonna
WNBA?
take some blame?
No, I don't think she's
she-
declared
she's-
yet.
She's a junior, but is she eligible?
Yeah.
No, only if she was of her class. Let's say she redshirted, so she's like on paper junior, but in her class she's a senior. Then she's eligible because I think it's a girl that's foregoing her senior year on to go to the WNBA.
Yeah, she is from UConn.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we had two last year that left early from South Carolina. But my question is, 3 seconds were left. You had a foul to give. Where's the foul?
Oh, you shouldn't have fouled because you. How many fouls? What did they have? Were they in
There
the
was a bonus.
Yeah, you don't
No,
foul.
they were not in the bonus.
It wasn't?
No, they had a foul to give, and that's what the
Oh,
question
man, that's
everyone
evil.
is asking.
Well, yeah,
Coach, why didn't they foul her?
They probably said,
coaching?
well, she wasn't going to make that shot, but knowing how she could make them shots, they had
I don't get paid to.
that mama mentality that she had, she was going to at least try to do something to make that
Killer
shot. So.
instinct.
We'll come back. We'll
She
talk about
walked
the
first.
NBA play. She did. The NBA playoffs.
There was a foul before that.
Who's are the contenders and the sleepers? So make sure you stay tuned right here on the Walk-Ons.
Don't worry a little bit. I got your back. They fouled the point guard, man. That was I didn't see the
Well,
game.
they did foul her.
That was a
did.
foul.
I was about to stop watching the game. I was like, nah, let me finish. I had
I am
It was
ready
a good,
for the
it was a
next
good
time.
game to watch.
and I was like, yo.
So I didn't know they had a foul to give and didn't foul.
Yes.
To me, I'm coaching. I'm in that huddle going, she, whatever her name is, she's the last person to get it. I don't care if you leave somebody else open for a three, as long as there's no layup, it's two people are on her. And if you watch the replay, the girl shoots through her teammate to get to the girl going away from the goal. Rule of thumb, never guard somebody going away. You stop. If they catch it, then you close out. But you protect people going to the basket. And she cut to the basket and she kind of chipped her teammate. And you can see her falling, trying to get her hand up. And the rest is history.
Wow.
Eminem.
You know what? Do you know how I really do blame for the last two losses for Mississippi State? It was Vic Schaefer, the head coach.
That's who you have to blame. I mean, they had a foul to give. Somebody needed to go out there and say, foul somebody. And that would have taken at least another second or two off the clock.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, Mississippi State went to the last two national championships, so, you know, can't really blame them for that. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Once again, follow us on all of our social media. We are on Twitter and on Facebook, so you can find us on there. And then also find us on our website at www.freethinkersradio.com. And also, don't forget, you can check out our music playlist. We are on iTunes and on Spotify, so you can check us out on those. The music is updated every Friday.
Weekly.
So
Right now we in snow season.
But
It's
no
all
Keisha
Jeezy
Cole,
hits.
though, right?
That's
No
all
Keisha Cole.
No, Keisha Cole actually makes an appearance. It's all Jeezy hits right here.
I try to figure out what snow season is.
Snowman, what you mean?
What's that?
He just said his last album's coming out. It's gonna be the last album.
Jeezy ain't
next
been
album's
relevant
last
in
album.
years.
Huh?
Jeezy hasn't been relevant in years.
You ain't hear that last album, did you? 2 months ago, you ain't hear that, did you?
I didn't listen to it.
Listen.
So he said
Listen,
this is
you
going
are
to be his
bugging
next
right
to
now.
last album.
No, his next album that he does is his last album.
Oh, I thought you said his
So he's had
next to
TM
last.
101. We got to hit 104. It's the final lesson.
The
Listen.
last hot track I heard from him was the one with Bankroll. That all there. That was it.
That was Trapper Die
Wow,
3. That
that's
was last
old.
year, but he just dropped one 2 months ago. Fire.
He said he hasn't been relevant in years. OMG.
I don't really pay attention to albums. As long as they got
Somebody
it.
got it right.
Yo,
there.
BJ, come get your man. Come get your.
I
Yo,
was
she
trying
can
to
fight you.
tag her.
As long
But I
as long as they got a hit, I don't really
Yo,
care
speaking of
about
relevant though,
albums,
shout out to Big Crit and Sci-Hi and Childish Major that were here this past weekend.
who are they?
Fire concert.
A great guy.
so. Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I'm
Yes,
just,
really. What you mean?
I think
Really?
I'm just outgrown like music. I'm
I
just
thought
stuck
you
in
said
the
you
90s.
wanted to be a rapper.
I'm just lying.
Oh,
No, the
okay.
90s was fire. Don't get it twisted.
I just can't keep like it's just what's good and what's not. Like I'm like torn between what's good music. Like I hear something, I'll be like, okay, that's good. And they be like, that's trash. I'm like,
Well, this concert this past weekend it is definitely powerful message.
Sci is straight bars. So if you like the 90s,
Future, the best rapper alive.
Kerry?
Who? Future Hendrix.
yo, we're gonna revoke your hosting ability.
You got my attention. I'll say Kendrick Lamar.
like
Best rapper alive.
That's right there.
All I can think about was
March Madness was fire, but I
You
don't know
might as well
about
just
that.
say gospel gangsters and throw that in there.
Speaking of that, y'all heard Snoop Dogg? Gospel.
What happened to
I only
Curtis
heard one
Blow?
track. That's it.
Oh,
Huh?
What happened to Curtis Blow?
All right, moving
All right,
along.
Let's go to the next one.
They're not gonna let you live with that.
Find
Brandon.
us.
I just want you to
You
know.
can catch the clips and chat every Mondays on
Shout
our
out
social
Robbie.
media. Robbie has a new clips and chat episode that will be showed tonight, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And also check us out every Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. on our social media.
Future.
And also Food Trippings every Thursday. I'm not giving you no times. Just
Every Thursday.
Check the
Just
days
tune in.
on
You're
there.
gonna get the alert. Subscribe.
So make sure you check out all those on there. Coming up next, we have Kevin Fitzgerald for the Columbia Fireflies for the broadcast. He'll be previewing the season opener for the Columbia
Who
Fireflies.
they play?
They play the Augusta Green Jackets.
Okay.
It's always a
They
good
from
game.
my area. Hey.
Oh yeah, Augusta, Georgia. So make sure you stay tuned for that. All right, now let's get to NBA. The playoffs is almost here.
But it's not here.
It's not here, but it's almost here.
Who's the MVP?
James Harden.
Anthony Davis.
Anthony. Who?
Oh, whoa,
Anthony
wait a
Davis.
minute.
He wasn't
And Anthony Davis got good numbers, so I can't
Okay,
even be
now,
mad at that.
Now let me explain. Okay, I understand. The Rockets have the best record in the league. 62 wins. That's great. James Harden. Anthony Davis
Yes, Harden.
playing better defense than James Harden. Is he not? Would you agree? Better defender.
Everyone in
No,
life
of course.
plays
we didn't
better
say
defense than
defensive
James
player. We said MVP.
For one,
That's a given.
but that matters. That matters.
No, that doesn't.
Okay, for one,
No, it don't.
look at the roster that James Harden has around him. And you got Chris Paul, Trevor Ariza, Eric Gordon, who might be the sixth man of the year.
I see
know
you
what I'm
making a
saying?
claim, but no.
Anthony Davis, DeMarcus
You better- you better-
Cousins go down to January. He's averaging 33
You're
points.
better arguing
13
for
boards.
LeBron James.
He's not a candidate over AD or Harden
But
or
he will be.
or Damian
He'll-
Lillard. Honestly,
He will be.
I'll see that argument because if that's the case, if he had to do it by himself, then LeBron James shouldn't get the MVP either.
Yo,
He
Dale,
had Kyrie
who's the
Irving.
NBA MVP right
He
now?
had Kyrie Irving. He won the MVP. He had all those other players that pretty much helped him get the team.
first of all,
You just name one person, then all the other people.
Yeah, that's deserving. Yeah,
Kyrie
Kyrie Irving's
Irving.
one.
Kevin Love is
I
on the
don't-
team. Tristan
I don't care
Thompson.
about
Kyrie
Love.
Irving-
Tristan
Kyrie
Thompson
Irving
should
what?
not even being noticed.
Kyrie Irving, what?
Kyrie Irving's the only one that helped LeBron.
It was other people on that team, man.
I don't care about them.
no,
really
when
don't.
it mattered in the finals, the only person that helped him was Kyrie. That was it. Kevin
Thank
Love was mediocre.
Kevin Love was rebounding like he
Kyrie Love was
He was
mediocre.
averaging 10 points and what
12.
10 to 12. Then how many
Tristan
points he had
was
in game
missing.
7? He
The
had,
reason
what,
why they
7?
got love because they try to get those rebounds.
Tristan
those
ain't
points.
Tristan ain't getting no credit
Yeah.
from me after he wore those Fashion Nova jeans last year to the
We
finals.
need
Them super huckers.
He ain't never getting no love.
He had on.
Expect that from Chris.
But my thing is, how can LeBron be the MVP when you're playing in
'Cause
in the weaker
He's
conference?
gonna always be there.
In year
And they're-
15, he's still playing at this level.
I get it.
He's always gonna be in
he's
conversation.
not playing a lick of defense. He's one of the last in people sufficiency this season. Okay,
Like, what do y'all look
They've
at?
been-
Like,
they've been-
He's
they've
are
gonna
these
be-
are these
he's
numbers
gonna
for
be
people
in the
that's
conversation.
smart to feel like that doesn't it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
but defense matters.
If you go into the game, who are you worried about? And you play Cleveland.
Of course, LeBron.
All right, he the MVP.
Well,
Okay, you can say the same thing for Anthony
You can say
Davis,
the
so
same
you can
about
say-
just about any team in
Yeah.
the NBA.
I'm just saying, why are we discrediting his numbers?
It's not discrediting him, but it's
But
true.
you talking about his efficiency. What that
But I mean, you're not
he's
playing.
not
I
on
guess
the-
I think
that matters.
the
He's
only
not-
thing I would say in reference to your defense statement was James Harden not playing no defense.
He don't.
And nobody
no,
complaining about
He's
his
not
defense.
my MVP either.
But
Not,
he's a-
not you, I'm just saying in general.
That's a different.
Nobody saying anything about
category.
him.
That's a different category.
Yeah, I'm saying.
we have defensive player of the year.
But a part
I don't-
of the MVP is
No.
playing defense
No,
on both
it's
sides of
not.
the court.
I'm,
Like,
I'm trying to tell you, no, it's who's the best person on that team that benefits that team. So if you take them off, which is you're correct. I'm just saying I know how it's gonna be. He's not gonna be in the top. He'll probably be 4 in the race.
he'll probably be second.
No,
If LeBron gets the second place over AD,
I don't think
that's
I don't
pure
think it
popularity
gets.
vote.
I don't think it'd be second. I think Damian Lillard because you got it's all about the way where your team's at and versus how important you are. So of course, James Harden, I haven't really paying attention because I just know James Harden because he didn't get it last year because of Russell Westbrook triple double. That's the only reason he didn't get it last year. So I just feel like now,
It's kind of like, okay.
yeah,
But-
here you
but
go.
my thing
You
is
got the
with
best
LeBron.
record over the Golden State Warriors. And I
I
don't
think
know.
that's what's going to take it.
Yeah,
like, the
of
fact that
course.
your record is better
Better,
than the Warriors.
yeah.
But my thing, okay, if you take James Harden off the Rockets.
They don't win as much.
And they don't win as much, but they're still a playoff team, right?
No.
They're still a playoff team.
I say so. Yeah.
Yeah, they're still a playoff team. You take Anthony Davis off the Pelicans, they're in the lottery. Period.
Exactly. True.
They're barely in there now with him.
I mean,
This discussion is better if Boogie there.
No, for the Rockets, he still got Chris Paul. He still got Capella doing what he's doing over there too. So
It's
he
not
still
the
got
same.
those two
Eric
factors
Gordon.
that pretty much, and Gordon too.
You're saying this now, and he's been playing.
They won't win the. They won't go to the finals,
No,
but
yeah,
still
they're not
reach the
winning
playoffs.
60 games.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Y'all made y'all
Dave
point.
said it's Harden's turn.
There you go. You're saying this with him playing. He's been playing all these games since he came in after he got traded from OKC. He hasn't missed a game or more than a stretch where you can go, oh man, he's missing. Chris Paul has not been in his lineup for 2 months in totality.
But Chris Paul's like another Isaiah Thomas.
We're going to hold on, stay on track. Let's make you're going to another point. If you take James Harden off that team, you got to think Chris Paul wasn't there. They wouldn't be a playoff team.
Oh no.
But you just said they
no. If Chris Paul was on there along with Capella and Gordon, they
for
would
the
be a
whole
playoff
season.
team.
Dave said Capella does not do that without Harden. On the
Without
bench.
Harden.
But you obviously got to assume that if he's healthy,
We
the
just-
Rockets are at least a playoff
All right,
team.
so
without
You talking
him.
about CP3?
Apparently
Yeah.
though,
But how long is
apparently,
he gonna be healthy though?
That's what we keep saying.
well, let's say this.
But
Apparently, the Rockets not a Warriors team where you got your top 4 players pretty much either in or five injured or halfway injured, where they can't really play for a stretch. But it's still, they are still winning because they got a good bench. The Rockets do not got a good bench at all. They got those 2 top 3 players that can pretty much carry the team until the bench comes in, settle down a little bit, and then as they come back in. As for the Warriors, they could probably take a whole week off and still go on a 4 or 5 game winning streak. So without the Rockets, without their top players with Harden and Gordon and all them, you pretty much talking about a mediocre team, and the Warriors could possibly be number 1 again in the West. But
the fact is, he's been playing with that core group of guys since he got there, and now that what he got with that guy, I can't talk right now. I have a brain. What he has with the chemistry that he has with that team is the reason why that only works with him in the lineup versus Chris Paul.
Let Harden go down in the playoffs and see how far they go.
It's a wrap.
Nowhere.
Exactly.
We'll come back and talk to Cam Fitzgerald, so stay tuned right here on the Walk-Ons.
They said Golden State whole team been playing that system for 5 years.
Hey, are we still going?
I agree with you, but if Boogie don't get hurt, they hire, and it's just the way they
I'll mute
vote.
my phone right quick, guys.
It's the way they vote. And he's my he a Chi-Town guy. He went to Kentucky. I agree that chemistry does matter. So, but it just is if they're a little bit higher and not fighting for the AC, maybe. But just the way that they vote, I mean,
they gave it the Westbrook last year, and
that's only because he had the triple,
and they were 7 seed.
but that's only because it's the triple.
Hey, I got the phone on mute.
That's the only reason why. Because if he like
I got no service.
a point away and it's not a triple double, Harden gets it.
Yeah.
Because you're right, they was a 7th. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I probably got to put the phone over there.
Hey, are we still gonna touch on that sleepers, the sleepers
phone
in
over
the
there.
part, or no?
Oh, we'll come back to it.
Okay. Hey, I was excited for that. I got some heat for that.
Make sure y'all plug it up, though. Plug it up, cause keep talking about. Oh Lord Jesus! Welcome back to the show, everybody. As you see, we try to get everything straight, and right now this is all over the place. And yeah, talk, Chris. Talk. Yeah, you're not talking.
So we just getting everything together for y'all.
Sure.
We'll make sure
Kevin might be on the phone, man.
What's up, Kevin?
He on the phone.
Can you hear me, Kevin?
He on the phone yet. Keep talking.
All right. So, how's everybody? Man, you said you wanted to cover the sleepers, so while we get everything together, what's going on with sleepers?
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know if there's really such thing as a sleeper in the NBA, considering that the best team usually wins every year. But I think in the Western Conference, you have to pay attention to of course, I think the Pelicans for one, because they are a pretty good defensive team with Anthony Davis playing the way he is on
What
defense.
about Portland?
Yeah, and I was gonna get to that point too. I think if the playoffs started, I think they would play Utah right in the first round.
Okay.
Which I think they can beat them. That's very reasonable.
They should be.
Yeah, and then they would play either the winner of the Timberwolves and the Warriors in the following round. I mean, I think that they could sneak past the Warriors if they're not healthy. I think that's possible. I mean, what do you think?
I'm just saying, I'm not sold on that at all.
On who?
I think it's going to go back to Houston and Golden State if they're healthy. OKC will give someone some trouble just because you have a bunch of veterans playing together, but I don't think there's really any sleeper teams as far as these young teams like Portland or New Orleans.
Timberwolves. Well, I think out east, you got to pay attention to the Sixers. I can see them sneaking into the conference finals.
Yes, but your boy's not healthy
your
right
boy
now.
not healthy.
He may not be there for the first round.
Yeah, that's the key for them. Miami maybe because of their defense and their rotation.
Yeah, definitely.
They play together.
Hello?
Toronto,
Kevin.
can they finish off what they're doing?
Can they overcome LeBron? I think
like
that's
I said, can they finish? That's gonna be the key with them. The West, I got the Timberwolves. I got the Timberwolves for one reason. If they can get it going, I still have. They have spurts. They've had spurts where they played great, and Thibodeau's defense and the philosophy looks great, and then they had spurts where it looks like the old Timberwolves old. Yeah. So you never want to play your best basketball. I always say this as a coach. So it's exciting because right now they're the team. If I'm anybody else, including San Antonio, I don't want to play those two teams. I don't want to play them. If Golden State,
I think they're gonna run out of gas eventually.
I think this is the year Toronto's coming out of the East. You know, back in the '90s when you had the day, Jordan had to get through Detroit. Detroit had to get through Boston.
LeBron had to get through Boston.
So LeBron had to get through them, and I think now it's time for Toronto to finally make it through Cleveland.
Do you agree?
Baseball season.
That LeBron had to get through Boston? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ray Allen. I will never forget that corner trip three.
So after some technical difficulties, we got it straight now. On the phone, we have Kevin Fitzgerald. Kevin, how you feeling, man?
Hey, guys. How's everything going? Good to be with you.
Doing good, man. Can you hear me straight?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. So tell me about the season coming up. We got opening day coming up on Thursday. 7 o'clock p.m. against Augusta Green Jackets. Tell me how the team looking for this year.
Guys, team's looking great. I mean, this is a really exciting team. Our coaches, managers are excited about the experience. It's a nice mix of experience and youth. A lot of guys are playing college ball, which is really good for a clubhouse. It means they bring a little extra experience to the table, but some speed, some power, a lot of good arms, too. I think that could be the specialty. That could be the power behind this team is just the pitching. No question about it.
There's a little technical difficulties as for the phone, so we're going to try to get that straight in just a second. But looking at the team for today, they still got some good, hitters. We got some good returners. We got about, 2 or 3 returns coming back for this year. So one key guy that we know for this year is Jay Jazz. He's the returner coming back for this year, along with Blake Taberi. He's with the team before. Now he's with the team again this year. So with those 2 guys coming back plus another, how do you think their progress is now as a year 2 for the Fireflies? Kevin? That's like Home Alone 3. Kevin?
Kevin, who's your favorite
Good
rapper?
timing. Good timing.
Yeah, so we get that split. We'll get him called back, so we might need to call him topic number 3, but let's go back to the topic about the NBA discussion about contenders.
Indiana.
Oh, yes.
So what you talking about there, Gary?
Well, what I was saying is I would have thought that Philadelphia may have gone in and given a good run, but now with the big man out with that orbital fracture in his eye, they're stating that he may miss the first round of the playoffs. So if that's going to be the case, then like Opie says, that's a wrap.
I mean, I think they still have enough. Honestly, you look at Ben Simmons. They got Robert Covington, who's one of the best.
Playoffs is
Simmons
this
can't
ain't
shoot.
this is
one of
not
the best 3-and-D players in the
Simmons
league.
cannot shoot.
y'all thinking
Mario
about
Sarri.
y'all thinking like a game. This is a game to game. Now your focus is on one team. You don't have to worry about a back to back. You don't have to worry about a West Coast trip where you getting in at 5 a.m. and having to go do a shoot around at 2, then get prepared for a game and turn back around. No, this is game to game. And now your coach all your coaches, not just one, because usually in the NBA, a coach has the next team, next so. So the head coach can be focused on practice. No, you're talking about all coaches preparing a game plan to stop that team. And this is when it gets more interesting. This is not college. It's not one and done. Each game is going to be different. Each game is going to have different schemes. So
you're saying it's dependent upon the stars.
That's why your stars are there. Your stars are there to create other opportunities for your others. Like Shaq said, remember Shaq was in the interview, he was like, yes, I want all the best players on my team because it's about the others. Your Robert Ory's, your Eric Snows, your Jermaine Thompson, all the people that make it possible for your stars to be stars. And that's what the playoffs are about. And if your star, Joel Embiid, is not getting double teams and keeping the center out. So Simmons can show that dribbling, that passing skills to get to JJ or Covington. And
you see, to me, it's all about how aggressive Ben Simmons would be.
But it's not, because now you just pack the lane. You just focus on somebody.
That's what
you just pack the lane.
Look, if he's aggressive, let's say he takes the aggression that he takes towards passing and facilitating.
But how many games have they lost at the end? I understand what you're saying, but how many games have they lost at the end when they've had 20-point leads, 15-point leads, and at the end of the game they lose by 5 or 7?
I mean, that happens to young teams.
Here's a couple of things
That's
about Ben
point.
Simmons. Number one, he needs to work on that jumper just like your boy LeVar Ball. Two, if the ball's going to be in his hands at the end of the game.
But the difference is he's actually efficient though.
But he's not a good foul shooter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
he's a terrible free throw shooter.
He's a terrible free throw shooter. So if he's going to be your best ball handler, and when you get to in the game situations, you foul this guy.
Understandable.
Not going to make it.
I got Boston coming out the East right now.
I think
Boston is scary.
The Wizards are going to give a good run only because they played well without John Wall.
Yeah.
And now
I think that's going to do more harm.
Will the Wizards
than
play?
good.
Will Wizards won't play Boston?
No, in the first round, Miami will play Boston.
Yeah.
Let me see
What y'all think about Miami?
I like Miami.
They're a sleeper team. They play defense.
I think the East gonna be interesting. Indiana. Nobody say anything about Indiana, man. Listen,
I don't see it.
Oladipo.
Oladipo is a beast.
And then you got
now.
Turner. Miles Turner is a matchup. Y'all haven't seen a lot. Listen, that's gonna be interesting. I'm telling you, whoever they got to play is gonna be interesting. And I know the rest of the NBA that's in this matchup that make it are hoping Indiana and Washington or Indiana and Miami, because those three teams can cause problems. You rather them play each other and knock them out as a 4 and a 5 versus they get a 6 seed or anywhere else, and because they can cause trouble. They can really push you to a 6 or a 7 game. That's one thing you don't want in the first round. If you're a top seed, is to play more games than you have to.
Well, right now, because of their youth and inexperience in the playoffs, I'm going to give a pass to Indiana and the 76ers. They need more veterans out there to help them out. So
Indiana got veterans.
Oh yeah, who's the veteran?
I don't know. I ain't even watching them.
But what? Thaddeus Young? That's it.
Pretty much it.
They got more.
When we come back, we're going to talk more of the NBA playoffs, and plus women in sports has some popularity for women and in sports gaining popularity. So stay tuned right here for Walk-Ons.
Are the Knicks ever gonna make it to the finals again?
Dolan has to sell the team. Bless you.
I mean, he might go focus on your band, dude.
That's right.
well, now where are they going to pick? Because are they?
They got.
I mean,
Darren, come
they're
here right
going
quick.
to get a lottery pick, so might get a Marvin Bagley.
Nothing against Nikita. You had a chance to get one of these top premier point guards, and you go to Europe and get a.
Hey, Dan, we're not getting no sound from the phone wire for some reason.
I don't know. For all you Knicks fans, you might want to jump on Brooklyn bandwagon for the next 5 years. Matter of fact, I don't know. Y'all equally as bad. I don't know. Russell's still over there.
What's going on, guys?
Call you.
Huh?
I could call you so we get some ringtones.
Okay.
We're not getting ringtones.
We talk about good music. This is one of the goats right here.
Who is this? Nas? Nas a goat.
Listen, Nas got bars, not beats.
Easily. It was written and Illmatic.
No, I'm a Nas fan.
Greatest rap album.
But Nas beats don't be hitting like that. Jay-Z picked better beats.
Yeah. Jay-Z had more long-term success.
Nas got bars for days. I will always be a Nas fan. Oh. What's up, y'all? You're listening to the Walk-Ons, episode 53. Right now, we're going to continue a little bit about the NBA, but then we're going to transition into women in sports. Has that popularity grown, or is it still the same? What's going on with that? So we left off talking about potential sleepers in the East for the NBA Finals.
I say Indiana, and he was saying not enough veterans. I can.
Thaddeus Young can't be your only vet.
Can Oladipo lead your team? He's the best player on your team.
He's healthy.
Now he couldn't get it done with OKC.
What do you mean?
when
That
he was
wasn't his
there.
fault.
That was completely different.
But he wasn't the man on that team. But now
Is this a double standard world? Like that's not his team. He's not getting paid to make the tough shots. He's not getting paid the offense to run through him. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. We're
well,
saying
it is running through
sleepers.
him.
We're
He's
saying
your best
sleepers.
player.
We're saying sleepers. We're saying who's going. This is not a for sure. We're not talking about for sure. We're talking about who's going to surprise us. Who's going to put on their magical slippers and go Dallas? Not Dallas. Who's going? No, Golden was it Golden State when they did Dallas when the Dallas was the top seed when they had Baron Davis.
Yeah.
So who's going to do that? Who's going to be?
Shout out to BB.
Well, Dallas was one. That was
Those
one too.
glass
Yeah,
slippers will be broken for Indiana because they're going to be
No,
one,
I
one
think
and
you're just
four,
being hard.
1 and 4 in that first round.
We said sleepers. We're not saying a definite. I'm saying who has the potential to be a sleeper.
But
Right?
they have the potential. I'm saying they have the potential to be 1 and 4 and out in the very first round. That's what's going to happen.
You know,
to
honestly,
them.
I'm saying all this.
Do you
but-
know what a hypothetical? Like, I know you. Come on, man. Why
You
y'all
try to
giving
put
like?
OJ hypothetically.
Yeah, like this,
Allegedly,
Allegedly,
like,
this would happen.
It might not that it. Come on, Stephen. They like.
What chance do you get Toronto though?
I honestly think them and Indiana about on the same pace.
Okay.
But so I can't really trust Toronto. I said this a couple weeks ago because they
Kyle
can't get
Lowry is not
past-
mentally strong.
So
Yes, that.
So you talk about a team that has vets, that's been there, that's played, and they still can't get it done. Versus a team that's exciting, that's youthful, they're not afraid, they have nothing to lose. They're a sleeper. I think Indiana is a sleeper.
Can D Wade bring back vintage Flash and lead this
We
team?
have to
to
see.
a run?
Look,
Listen,
no,
listen.
no.
I'm not gonna count D Wade out ever.
I am.
I'm not. Okay.
I don't trust Miami.
I will agree with you that Indiana is a sleeper, but I'm looking
That's
at
all I said. That's all.
I'm looking
That's
at
it.
in the game situations. Are you going to trust Oladipo when you have to have that
Who
one
you got,
shot?
though? You got that is
When you have to have that one shot, and your star player says, "I want that ball."
I like him.
and
I like
you
him.
like Oladipo.
I like
to do that.
Oladipo. I like his
Okay.
mindset.
If the playoffs were to end today, well, not the playoffs, the season were to end today, it'd be Toronto versus Milwaukee, Boston versus Miami, Cleveland versus Washington, and Philadelphia versus Indiana. And in the West, you would have Houston versus New Orleans, Golden State versus Minnesota, Portland versus Utah, and you have San Antonio versus Oklahoma City.
I want to ask you guys this. So,
Shout out Oladipo.
as far as the other individual awards,
DC stand up.
what do you guys got? One of those, like Defensive Player of the Year.
It's not gonna be James Harden.
Definitely
not James.
I got Rudy Gobert for that award.
Yeah, he's always
Yeah, it's
top.
not bad, it's
Him,
not bad.
DeAndre Jordan, just alone the presence of what he does, rebounding and controlling the paint. Draymond slipped because of injuries, and Draymond, somebody in the East.
What about KD? KD was leading the league in blocks for a very long
Yeah,
time.
he was.
He
but
was, and rebound. You gotta put all of it totality.
I told him that KD was the best rim protector, and he believed me.
I mean, for their team.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be Melo.
I just think once the postseason comes around, the Warriors will probably turn everything around. Injury or not, they're going to play.
Warriors-
I'm not
Warriors
gonna
in
say injury or
5.
not.
Warriors
I
in
was-
5. I don't care who they play.
I don't
period.
trust Warriors to do stuff that we
It's-
think the Bulls did. Like when the Bulls won the record games and then they finished it off. I don't think this is the same. Like nothing against them. I hope so. Well, I like them. Shout out to Steph and Dre.
Well, they probably be as good as they were like 2 years ago.
I think they'll fall short. I think this is Houston year. I think that Houston or is San Antonio
Listen.
gonna put on something. Like I just feel like the people that come to play will come to play.
If the Warriors don't make it, I don't want Cleveland to make it.
What now? Do the Warriors have enough time to get healthy? I mean, what you got less than 10 games in the regular?
Depends on who you're talking about. If Steph's out, they can
see,
still win.
And that's the thing about the West. It depends on who they are matched up with. Because who you said if at the end of the day who they play Pelicans, right?
Yeah, the Pelicans.
And now you got to think you might have to put KD on.
No, it'd be Houston versus Pelicans and Golden State versus Minnesota.
Okay, so and that is not what you want if you are Golden State, because now you're talking about Cat and Andrew Wiggins out.
Well, see, I think they can neutralize Wiggins. Cat's going to get his point.
And you still got Jimmy Butler, and then D Rose is a mystery.
But see, it's
I'm laughing, but he's a nigga. I mean, what you gonna get? Are you gonna get he's still averaging 19 points. And if you get 19 points in the playoffs,
You can live with 19.
you can live with
Right.
19.
But he's
Butler's
not
not
gonna play a
back
lick of
healthy
defense
right now.
Huh?
I mean,
But
Butler's
you-
not
huh?
back.
he's not gonna play a lick of defense.
He
so-
plays defense.
No, he doesn't.
He plays better defense than Curry. What are you talking about?
No, he doesn't.
Yes,
Who
he
the-
does.
who
See,
the-
that's one of the biggest myths about Steph Curry. He's
D-Rose.
he's really not a terrible
His
defender.
team is better. They have, huh?
Who said D Rose?
D Rose. What? I say he plays better defense than Curry. What are you talking about?
When?
What do you mean win?
When?
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 Look, as bad as his knees and stuff are, I could probably take
Obi.
D Rose off the dribble right
you
now.
feel like you're in
Hope
the
you're not
Twilight
talking
Zone?
about now.
Huh?
You feel like you're in the Twilight Zone right now?
Hope you're not talking about right now.
He just said it.
Like,
He
are
don't say
you
talking about.
serious?
I hope you're not talking about it right now.
What do you?
Maybe in the past times, yeah.
But he
But I
said
hope you're talking about
he's a mystery, which means we don't know which D Rose you're
that.
going to
Mystery
get.
in the hospital, yeah.
Right.
But he's not playing a good defense
And
right
it's
now.
also if he shows
At
up.
all.
Did I say good defense? Like,
Especially
are
when
y'all
he's playing
listening?
with the
Hold on, let's stop.
No.
He plays better defense than Steph.
He didn't say it was great defense.
I didn't say do Steph
Just
play.
better than
I just
Steph.
said he plays better
But
defense.
Steph really
We
ain't
know
a- he ain't
exactly
a
what we're
terrible
gonna
defender.
give
So am I
D-Rose
wrong? Like I'm
right
trying to
now.
figure out y'all going
And
at
that's nothing.
D Rose and y'all going at me, and I haven't said
Harden
anything
plays
wrong.
better defense than Rose, and
Whoa,
Harden
no,
plays
that
better
is a
defense.
lie.
Whoa,
See,
whoa, now see.
that's what I'm saying.
Harden ain't playing
This
no
is where I
defense.
got to stop you.
You
I got to hop off this
No,
train
no,
now.
no. D Rose is not. No,
It's
no.
not- it's
What
not
you
even-
mean?
it's not even
There's
the
nothing wrong.
conversation.
Why
It's
are
not
we
even-
discussing D Rose? He's not even relevant.
Because y'all like y'all
I mean,
like bashing my
He's still,
dog.
he's still
Thank
a
you,
pretty
Gary.
good player now. Come on.
He is
now.
not
19
even
boys?
relevant.
Because if Kevin
and
Love was on the
down,
scale averaging 10
sometimes.
points in the finals, like I'll take 19 from D Rose.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you really
D
serious?
Rose is going to give you
19
19
points?
Y'all already trust
Did I
D
say that or
Rose
did I
out
say
He's going to give you
anything?
19
Why
points.
y'all
He was
listening?
averaging 19.
Are y'all just hearing D Rose? Let's say, okay, Garrett, if Jeff T give me 19, y'all just hearing the name like D Rose bad knee.
I've seen D Rose play this year. It's not impressive.
We're
at
talking
all.
about his.
What do you
We're talking about his defense, not his scoring.
Right.
Him and on
his deep.
defense.
What have you seen on his defense?
He's just not a
Nothing.
very good defender.
What,
He's
you
not.
seen people blow by him
He's
or,
not
or
like the
take
D
3 or
Rose
4
of
dribbles like they do
yesteryear
everybody
when-
else and get by somebody?
I know,
10,
he's
4.
not like the D Rose of yesteryear where he can
Yeah.
call steals, calls assists while doing the fast
Yeah.
breaks, all that stuff. That's not the D Rose of now. D Rose now is just injured. He's
Yeah.
playing injured. He's playing hurt the
Oh,
whole
yeah,
time.
okay. I can't argue with people that just see injury versus what
I
he
do see
his bo-
injury. He's
No,
playing hurt.
You talking
He
about
can't play
hurt
defense
versus
like
his
that.
body? You haven't said anything that he's done this season. He's saying
He's not doing nothing. He's
I
in the
actually-
hospital.
You keep talking. Has he? How many dribbles does it take for somebody to blow by somebody? Is it 10 dribbles?
For
Is it
D Rose,
2?
one.
No,
you
D-Rose-
haven't seen it.
D Rose
He may
first step
give you
is
5
killer.
minutes a game in this playoff.
When we come back, we got the Clips of Shannon food strip, so stay tuned. I
What,
don't really see
what
D
game
Rose
have you seen? You
athletic.
can't tell me because you ain't watching.
we
Because he
He
ain't
gotta-
he
playing.
played with the Cavs before, and he did not do absolutely nothing.
What
with
you
the
mean? He
Cavs
was
at
in the
all.
game because he was their best their point guard defender. What are you talking
I
about?
don't see that.
He-
I don't
How
see
you
that.
don't
he
see?
did play well when he
He
first
He
got
was
there.
the best. What do you see? Now I know you're not paying attention because he. That's the only reason he was on the floor because he was the best defender.
That's
to
all they
guard the
had.
point.
Then you go
Yeah,
put
they-
Isaiah Thomas in there.
Yeah,
Isaiah Thomas was hurt
game.
too. Both of them was hurt.
now
They
you-
played
now
well
you
in
talk
the same
about-
hospital.
He played well when he first got there. Now, once he
He
took
got-
that little
the
sabbatical for
sabbatical.
2 months and we didn't know what was going on.
And you see
That's-
that goes back
that's
to the point.
something.
That goes back
But
to the
before
point
that,
I
he
made
didn't
before.
play well.
D
But
Rose
that-
has
hold on,
more
hold on.
mental issues
Oh
than
my
physical
God.
issues.
Yeah.
But
I
you
would say
see-
that.
Hold on.
Yes.
That goes back to the point I was making about LeBron. You know, so now if you've seen these issues, you got Derrick Rose guarding the best point guards in the league.
Nah, we're not putting
Why
him on
wouldn't
there.
you put forth the effort to play defense on the best point guards in the league?
If I'm playing every other thing, though.
LeBron doesn't even try. That's the issue.
David agrees with you. He said they can't be watching the game.
They can't.
Well, they aren't.
And
So,
all I said was, and all I said,
no,
hold on.
no.
All I
So you
said-
put D Rose on top of LeBron.
Did I
You
say?
put D Rose on top
That's
of
No.
Stephon
Are
Curry.
you listening?
Why
I
you do
said
that?
Beat go hard.
D
Why you
Rose.
do that?
I said D Rose plays better defense
I don't
than
see
Curry.
that.
That's
I know.
only one point guard
No.
in the whole
No.
NBA.
No,
Yes.
I don't see that.
Yes,
I
because he's
don't
way
see
more
that.
athletic.
I
It
don't
ain't-
see
I
it.
put Curry on top of D Rose any day.
Me too.
He said
Defensively
D
and
Rose
offensively.
had offensive,
So-
offensive problems and not defensive problems.
I don't know. Y'all not watching the game. I don't
So-
know.
Who
Y'all
said
definitely
that
not.
on the comments?
David said
David,
that.
go to another station.
But he was.
That was the problem with
He was
Cleveland
good when
earlier
he
this
first
season.
got here.
Their point guards were just awful, and that was D Rose and Isaiah Thomas.
No, they couldn't score. They wouldn't score. It wasn't their defense. They defense. They didn't put
The
Isaiah
point
because he
guards
wasn't
in
playing.
the East were taking them to school. Wall, Irving. I mean, they couldn't stop them. Couldn't stop them. Now, granted, it's team defense, but they could not stop them. Couldn't keep them in front of them.
Was
I
this
just- I
during
really don't
when
see this
D
at all.
Rose was out and it was because I've seen two different teams. Because when D Rose was starting, they wasn't having problems. They was having problems scoring.
Right.
That was not. I don't know what team. How, for somebody to say they like Cleveland and don't see that wasn't their
Sabrina
problem.
throwing a flag.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a point guard. Now when D Rose started doing what D Rose normally do, and then Isaiah Thomas came back, now those the issues they were having with scoring and defense. It became a true issue where they could not stop point guards and they could not score.
Sabrina says you're right, Gary.
I thank you, Sabrina.
What?
Shout out to
She said
Sabrina.
Mr. Harvard is right.
Hallelujah. So, get the clips of chat ready.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
coming
Like,
up,
shout out to
we got
Robbie,
Robbie
man.
with the clips of chat. He has a new episode out this week. So here's the clips of chat right now. We can talk while
I'm Robbie Kiner with this week's Clemson Chat. In baseball, Clemson moved its record to 22-6 on the season with a 3-game sweep over Boston College. They've won 6 out of 7 overall, including winning 2 out of 3 at Louisville. Seth Beer continues to swing a hot bat. He's homered in 4 consecutive games. He can tie a Clemson record by homering in a 5th consecutive game if he can do so Tuesday night when the Tigers host Coastal Carolina. And it's off to Notre Dame for a 3-game series next weekend. In basketball, Elijah Thomas has declared that he will come back to Clemson for his senior season. The Tigers are still waiting on Marquise Reed and Sheldon Mitchell.
Devo should have been on the roster. That's how I feel about it. Devo should not even been on the Cleveland Cavalier roster.
That's why y'all
Make sure y'all
gonna
tune in to the Clips of Chat every Monday. All new episodes.
Great
will be,
transition. Great transition.
Wait,
focus on
Marcus
Facebook
a
and on Twitter.
Cleveland fan?
Huh?
I'm not a Cleveland fan,
Are
by
you
the
a
way.
Cleveland
No.
Just a LeBron fan.
Next off, we have the Food Tripping. Chris goes to a new restaurant this week, so check out the Food
Thank
Tripping
you,
every
David.
Thursdays. What do we have this week? Let's play Food Tripping.
Did y'all read what David said?
All right, folks, it's your man, Cali Chris. You've been asking for it. Hey, I need a healthy episode. I'm trying to get my body right, get this six-pack summer going. And yes, that is the new hashtag, six-pack summer. And guess what? We got it for you this week as we come to you live and direct from Clean Juice. They got cold-pressed juices, fresh fruit smoothies, granola bowls, everything you need to get your body right. So make sure you tune in this Thursday at 11 a.m. right here on Food Tripping.
All right, folks, it's your man, Cali Chris. We're back here on another episode of Food Tripping. I scream, you scream, we all scream for what? You got it. Brain Freeze. Brain Freeze has all your favorite ice cream flavors that you grew up with, you know and love, but to flip it on its head. They got a warm bubble waffle going with a fruit drizzle that goes across the top. It's amazing. So make sure you tune in this Thursday as we take you to the best spot in the city to take your kids after they win that spring t-ball game, that softball game, that soccer game. It's going to be right here. Make sure you tune in to Food Tripping. Parents as well. Shout out to Eric and Kaya.
Do you know who else can go over there? Who is as soft as ice cream?
You about to say D-Rose, aren't you?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Dave said Steph ain't gonna say no better than D-Rose knees.
No, really, really.
Steph got tissue paper ankles. And
Really?
y'all not gonna sit here and act like you don't.
I would say if D-Rose was in his prime and his peak of his career, yes, I'll put D-Rose.
Y'all
over
really gonna make me go
Curry.
take shots at my dog.
But I would not.
Y'all really gonna
I
make me
would
take
not-
shots
I
at
would-
LeBron.
I would not pick
Y'all
Rose
really gonna
over
make
Curry
me
right now.
take shots
Okay,
at
how
my
much
dog.
of a defensive factor he is.
Okay, if that's
And
the
I'll
case,
pick Curry over defense.
LeBron would be the
for Rose
GOAT
in the
right
first
now if he wasn't such a ooh boy. Listen,
That was personal.
yeah, that personal man.
Don't
Like
you
what?
even go in
It's
there with
not-
him
it's
being the
not
GOAT.
personal.
He not the GOAT. That's and the reason
All
he's not the
right.
GOAT because he done been how many championships and he done lost. That's why, because he's not a killer. So if he would have had a killer, then he'll be a killer and he'll be a GOAT. He never gonna be the GOAT, no matter if he do get more because
So-
he's not.
So what
Who's
we're
not gonna
not
be the
gonna do?
Yeah, what we gonna do?
What
Y'all
we're
ain't
not
gonna
gonna
do.
do
Who's
is
gonna do?
disrespect LeBron
I'ma
James.
disrespect him.
That's what we're
I'ma
not gonna do.
disrespect- I can't.
That's what we're
I
not
don't
gonna
do
do.
that.
We're not gonna disrespect
First of all,
LeBron James on this show. That's what we're not about to do right
LeBron.
now. What? What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
Hey, I actually gotta agree with him. LeBron, number 2 or 3 all time.
Listen,
That's where you gonna
listen,
say.
I'm
that.
revoking everybody
4.
hosting privileges. I'm revoking everybody's hosting privilege.
You said number what of all time?
I'll say number 3 right now. I think he's behind Jordan and Kareem. By the end of his career, he'll pass Kareem and number 2.
I put LeBron number 2. Michael
He
Jordan
still
number
ain't
1.
even. He ain't got Bird and Magic in my eye. Like
Wow.
I'm just on that right now. Y'all gonna
disrespectful.
No, it's not because y'all gonna be so like y'all gonna be so technical.
Y'all nothing.
He's a better
I
player.
sided with you on D-Rose.
Hold on, I see his David Pendergrass comment talking about Steph ankles going a year.
They going in a
I bought
year.
the shirt. First of all, my shirt is just fine. All right, this shirt fits.
Because the ankle's gonna tear.
This is an extra large shirt. I got this from Burlington, so don't talk about my shirt. I got it for $7.99.
You bought it. You got it, or your girl got it for you?
Huh?
You got it, or your girl got it for you?
That's my shirt. I bought this.
Ain't no honk.
It's a medium.
Wow.
Gary, you don't need to be talking right now,
commercial
Gary.
break. We come
don't need
back.
to be talking.
We're gonna continue the conversation.
Don't be talking, Harvard guy. With your shorts up to your thighs.
Tell
You
him
don't need to be talking.
Tell him I've been working out.
This is a great shirt.
Even working out.
Yeah, you already did the break.
Yeah, I already did. We're coming back. Listen to the walk-ons.
All right, cool.
You did it twice.
You already did the break.
I ain't gonna call Coach Ryder today.
Did y'all see what Clyde Drexler said earlier?
What he
on
said?
Undisputed? He was talking about Jordan and LeBron. He was talking about how LeBron could pass Jordan because Jordan had Hall of Fame teammates. LeBron didn't have that.
He made them Hall of Famers.
Clyde, shout out to you, my guy.
Didn't Clyde get beat by Jordan in the finals?
Listen,
y'all don't be thinking people taking shots. You are salty. The only person that sit up there in those instances and tell the truth is Charles Barkley because he still has he's alleged to Jordan, so he's gonna keep it.
Charles Barkley makes
y'all gotta be so.
No, Barkley makes some good points. He really do make good points. He might be stupid at times, but he makes some good points.
Darren talking about you got quarter sleeves.
Look,
bruh,
y'all better make me cuss on this radio show today.
Well,
Y'all
I'm not going to dispute that LeBron is a great player. I mean, with the points, assists, and rebounds.
He's a complete player. I love
He's a
LeBron.
complete player.
But what he said wasn't exactly true. I mean, because
Patriots
LeBron
now.
has had Dwayne
When did that
Wade,
come out?
Chris Bosh, Kyrie.
Are they Hall of Famers?
Like 3
Are
minutes
they Hall of
ago.
Famers?
Y'all heard breaking news?
Chris Bosh would be a Hall of Famer.
Hold up.
What's the
Hold up.
breaking news?
Pause. We got breaking news.
What is it, Megan?
The Patriots have now have 2 first-round picks in the 2018 draft.
I mentioned that earlier.
The Giants have asked for at least 2 first-round picks in return for Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, they did what?
The Giants
asked for 2 first-round picks.
Oh, that's true
In
because they
return
traded
for it.
Brandon. They traded Brandon Cooks. They did.
That's
where Odell Beckham going?
He might go to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Wow.
They traded Brandon Cooks to the Rams.
Look, you got
Baby
Tom Brady
Jesus,
and OBJ.
please don't let this happen. I don't have time for this.
Tom Brady and OBJ on the same team.
As long as he stay healthy.
You need a deep threat.
The last time Tom Brady had the best receiver in the league, they went 16-0.
Yeah, and then they lost
He
in the
threw
Super
50
Bowl.
touchdowns, 8 picks.
Are they gonna let him be himself though?
Yeah,
He gonna change it?
no,
yeah.
Did they change Randy Moss?
Thank you.
They'll let him be. They'll let him be.
point.
Randy Moss like this though?
No.
Did they change Ocho Cinco?
Odell, listen.
That
Odell
too.
doing choreographed videos every day.
They don't change Gronk.
I will say this though, when Ocho Cinco was
true.
with Cincinnati, Ocho Cinco owned Cincinnati. He was himself. When he got to the Patriots, it was like a whole different person.
He was on the downs.
Yeah, he was
But they brought the
Well, he still acted cocky at times.
but look, they brought the touchdown celebration and everything back too now. So
No, okay.
Listen,
Ocho Cinco
needed
the whole
that.
time. And then same thing for Randy Moss, like you said, Gary. And then Terrell Owens was on there too. So, who knows? OBJ would be a
Sabrina, why you mad?
Huh?
She mad.
She might be a Giants fan.
Wow. It's over for y'all.
That's crazy. I never thought that.
David said Moss and Ocho Cinco were quiet as church mice.
Well,
I don't know.
Can we finish this conversation about the Derrick Rose right quick? Because we just got to finish on a good note,
Go.
Good.
This is a good note.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna be dogging my dog like
I
that.
would
That's
just
all.
say if he didn't get hurt, he had a chance to be one of the greatest point guards.
Mm-hmm.
To
But
play the
injuries
hate
are
that, though.
part of the game. They are part of the game.
They are.
So if he was healthy and still, no kind of surgeries on his leg or whatever it was,
that's
he'll still. I would say he'd be better than Kirk.
That's not the topic.
I will say that.
That's not the topic. The topic was I said, and I'm still standing by it.
I'm not saying this. I'm not saying about D Rose right now.
I said D Rose is a better defender now than Steph Curry.
No. Absolutely no.
Steph Curry, he ain't a terrible defender. I don't know where that narrative comes
Now the
from.
first thing that came out of his mouth was D Rose. I'm not D Rose. Steph Curry is not a terrible defender. Not he's a good defender. He does this. He's not a terrible defender.
But the reason why I said
he's still making excuses of how he's not.
But the reason why I
average.
said that was because you're comparing Derrick Rose's defense to Steph Curry's. And Derrick Rose is a terrible defender this year, period.
Okay, I think one of the things we have to look at is this is a different year for Curry. In the past, now not this year, in the past, you always had Klay Thompson on that point guard. Klay would guard Russell Westbrook. Klay would guard Chris Paul.
Yeah,
but now that these teams have gotten another guard to go along with it, Curry has to guard that point guard now. So he has to guard Damian Lillard when McCollum is out there in Portland. He has to guard Chris Paul when Harden is out there, and you have to put Klay Thompson on him. So his defense has had to have gotten better just because of the nature of who he's having to guard right now.
You still feel like you're in the Twilight Zone?
Yeah, man.
That's what your face just says.
That's still not answering. He has to get better, but that doesn't mean he's still better. He's still trash on defense.
I'm not saying he's the best defender there is, but I'm just
you don't have to say it. Y'all going around the bush
with the way
you're still saying he's. I mean, but
that
listen,
D-Rose was hurt this year. He was being blown by all of those point guards in the East. Wall was taking him to town. Curry,
how many times? They only played 4 times, right? I'm talking. This is baffling to me. They only played 4 times.
Yep.
And people keep saying Wall, and I vividly remember they were switching that game for some reason. I have to go back. Please, somebody archive it. I vividly remember because that's when they had Crowder, as I'm not mistaken, who they brought over for defense. Am I not mistaken?
The lack thereof.
But okay, I'm not even gonna go there.
They're not going to.
No. Wait. Because this is the only point guard they keep throwing out. John Wall is blowing by D Rose. John Wall is blowing by D Rose. Kyrie blew by D Rose.
Yes.
When they played.
You look at the stats.
Who won that game?
You look at the stats. I'm just saying.
Who won? I don't know. I'm asking.
When they played Boston?
Yeah, they played Boston.
Boston won?
They won, right? After your boy tore his ankle and leg out the socket.
Yeah.
Kyrie blows past everybody. Because he definitely cooked Steph.
Is he saying elite point guards? Is he saying elite point guards?
Well, we can't ask
you look at out the West.
No. Are you saying elite? Are those 2 elite point guards in the East? Right or wrong? Okay. So how many times does Curry get cooked in the West?
That's what I'm saying. This is the first
year. You just said D Rose getting, and this is a shell of D Rose. This ain't MVP D Rose that everybody feared. This is a shell of D Rose that's taking sabbaticals.
This is the first year that Curry's actually had to guard these elite point guards because you didn't have this in the past.
Yo,
Sabrina, I see you. Hey, I say this
with a health now peak Derrick Rose a few years back when he won MVP and all the rest of that. That Derrick Rose versus peak Steph Curry.
Ain't no question.
Who's better?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
Defense?
The defense.
No, that's about defense.
Defense. I would take Derrick Rose.
Thank you.
Okay. The NBA is all about offense. They don't even. I promise you, they don't watch defense.
No, if a team does play defense, they will win the NBA championship. If they play defense, you don't get that nowadays.
For individual players, I think defense is a little over.
LeBron will finish top in everything in every statistical category, and still, in his own era, not be regarded as the GOAT.
Well,
I mean, that's fine. He'd be a top 2 or 3 player.
You can rarely put someone
I don't know why we're getting LeBron shade right now. I've been pretty chill today. I don't know why this is coming my way.
I say
no, it's not your way. I know you.
Those are your nemesis today.
LeBron is, I say, GOAT 2.0 for the modern era, but I will put them against what Michael Jordan did because Jordan had some tough players to go against.
No, he said Charles Barkley said, look, Michael was great because, and everybody alludes to this, he had Hall of Fame players.
Yeah.
But during those times, they were nobodies outside of Scottie Pippen and maybe Tony Kukoc. During those times, during the time when it was going on, when the Bulls were the Bulls, it was just Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, Scottie could average 12 today.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he can still play today.
Why?
LeBron. I see. I'm gonna leave it alone because. But
you said he had Hall of Fame players. He had one Hall of Fame player beside him.
King James
Whereas
all day.
LeBron, he won that championship with D Wade. Chris
All right,
Bosh.
folks. Thank y'all for tuning in to
Gary
the
Payton.
Walk-Ons this week. For myself, Marcus,
D-Rose will
Megan,
get
Opie,
crossed up
Brandon,
by
and
Russell
Gary.
Westbrook.
Thank
Future
you.
is
We
the
will
GOAT.
catch you next
Even
week.
Steve Nash. He
Dirty
got crossed
Hendricks.
up by Steve Nash.
Man, Curry play
We'll see y'all
defense
next
like
Tuesday.
Steve Nash, man. You talking about, man. Talking about.
Everybody on
Talking about,
Facebook Live.
talking
Only
about
y'all
Thank y'all
D-Rose.
right
for tuning in.
discredit.
D-Rose
All right,
defense
all right.
terrible because John
Y'all
Wall was blowing by.
discredit.
John Wall